Hey everyone, so you've been dreaming of those epic Swiss mountains and those impossibly blue lakes, but the thought of actually planning the trip has you totally stressed out. Yeah, you are in exactly the right spot. Let's dive in and make this whole thing way, way simpler. Okay, let's be real. Planning a trip to Switzerland can feel like a full-time job. The scenery is an absolute dream, no doubt about it, but the logistics, the costs, that super complex train system, it can be a real headache. And look, it's not a cheap destination, so you want to make sure every franc you spend is worth it without getting lost in a dozen spreadsheets. But what if there was a much easier way to approach this? Well, there is. And today, we're going to break it all down with a simple 4-step framework that's designed to turn all that confusion into a clear, exciting plan. So here's our game plan. We're going to start by figuring out your personal travel style and the best season for you. Then we'll map out your route using a home-based strategy. After that, we'll tackle the big one, getting around. And finally, we'll cover some pro tips for packing and traveling smart. That's the whole goal here, to solve that planning puzzle, taking you from feeling completely overwhelmed to being genuinely excited to get going on your Swiss adventure. So, first things first, before you book a single flight or hotel, we need to ask the most important question of all. What kind of trip do you actually want? Seriously, your answer to this is going to guide every single decision you make from here on out. To help you figure that out, let's imagine two types of travelers. So, are you a Tom tourist? You want to see the big, iconic highlights, the Matterhorn, Jungfraujoch, and you don't mind the crowds that come with them. Or are you more of a Leah local? Maybe you're looking for those hidden gems, the authentic spots that aren't all over Instagram. And hey, you might be a mix of both, but just knowing which way you lean is absolutely crucial. Next up, timing. Summer is fantastic. You get long, warm days, and pretty much every hiking trail and cable car is open. The catch? It's peak season, so it's the most crowded and expensive. Then you've got the autumn shoulder season. This can be a real sweet spot. Fewer people, lower prices, and those fall colors are just stunning. But some high-altitude stuff might start to close down. And winter? Well, that's a whole different ballgame. A true paradise for skiers, but your trip will be very focused on the mountain resorts. So you see, there's no single best time, only the best time for you. All right, so you've nailed down your what and your when. Now let's figure out the where. This is where we get strategic, and I promise this will maximize your fun and seriously cut down on travel stress. My single best piece of advice here is to use the home-based strategy. Instead of packing up and moving to a new hotel every single night, you pick 1 or 2 great locations and use them as a launch pad for day trips. For a week or a 10-day trip, this is a total game changer. You unpack once you actually settle in, and you spend your precious time exploring, not constantly wrestling with your luggage. And for a first trip, these 4 spots are fantastic home bases. Interlaken is basically ground zero for adventure in the famous Jungfrau region. Lucerne is that picture-perfect Swiss city on a lake, with easy access to mountains like Pilatus. Montreux offers a totally different vibe. Think Swiss Riviera, vineyards, very French-speaking. And Zurich is a major, bustling hub that's perfect for city life and really easy day trips. Okay, it's time to tackle the big one, getting around. Switzerland's public transport is, without a doubt, world-class. It's incredible. But it can also be pretty pricey and super confusing if you don't know how the pass system works. Now, it really all boils down to a debate between 2 main passes, and getting this decision right can literally save you hundreds of francs, so yeah, this is a big one. So here's the deal. The Swiss Travel Pass is all about convenience. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You pay one big price up front, and then you just hop on and off trains, buses, and boats as much as you want. Super simple. But then you have the half-fare card. And honestly, for most people, this is where the best value is. You pay a much smaller fee upfront, and then every single ticket you buy is 50% off. As long as you're cool with buying a ticket before you travel, which is super easy on the app, this is almost always the smarter financial move. And I know what you're thinking, why not just rent a car? I get the appeal, that sense of freedom. But for a first trip focused on the mountains, it's just not the best idea. It's really expensive. You literally can't drive to some of the most iconic mountain villages like Zermatt. And trust me, those Swiss speed cameras are no joke. The train system is just better and honestly way more scenic. Okay, we've covered the what, the when, the where, and the how. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, some essential tips for what to pack and how to travel smarter once you're on the ground. This is where a little insider knowledge really pays off. If you only remember one single thing about packing for Switzerland, please let it be this. Layers, layers, layers. The weather in the mountains can flip in an instant. It can go from sunny and warm to cold and windy in minutes. So here's the system. It's 3 simple parts. You need a base layer that wicks away sweat, a mid-layer like a fleece to keep you warm, and a waterproof, windproof outer shell. And I'm not exaggerating when I say you could easily start your day in a t-shirt down in a valley and end up needing all 3 layers at a windy mountain peak just a couple of hours later. Being able to adapt is everything. So remember that half fare card we talked about? It costs 120 Swiss francs for an entire month. Now here's the kicker. It can completely pay for itself after just 1 or 2 big mountain trips. A full-price ticket to somewhere like Jungfraujoch can cost over 200 francs, so that 50% savings adds up incredibly fast. For most people's itineraries, it is an absolute no-brainer. And finally, just a few quick tips so you can travel like a local. First, shops tend to close early, sometimes around 6 p.m., so plan ahead. Second, you can save a fortune on food by grabbing lunch at the Coop or Migros supermarkets. The quality is amazing. Third, the SBB mobile app is non-negotiable. Seriously, just download it. It's your best friend for timetables and tickets. And last, bring a reusable bottle. You can fill it up at public fountains everywhere with perfect, clean alpine water for free. And there you have it. That's the framework. It's that simple. Define your style, create your map with a home base, choose your ticket wisely, and pack like a pro. That's how you turn this big, overwhelming puzzle into a clear, totally manageable plan. So, now the question goes back to you. Are you going to be chasing those big peaks like a Tom tourist, or are you going to be discovering hidden valleys like a Leah local? With this framework, you're not just dreaming anymore, you're actually ready to plan. So, what will your Swiss adventure look like?